All right, thanks. Hey, everybody, good afternoon. In this session, we're going to take a look at the Bing Maps Fleet Tracker, which we released as open source in January. And we'll show you how to deploy it, how to build it, all that good stuff. And periodically, we'll switch and take a look at my colleague, Eric, here. It looks like he's broken down at the side of the road right now. I know that timestamp is about 2 minutes ago, but we'll check in on him periodically. I asked him if he would drive around while we were doing our session. So I'm going to start with a really quick look at the Bing Maps platform itself. How many of you have used Bing Maps APIs over the years? A few hands. Okay. So we're going to focus mostly on the new APIs for mobility and fleet management today, but I wanted to just give you a very quick look at some of the other capabilities of the platform, because it's important to know as you're building your geospatial applications for fleet management and mobile field workforces, you've got the rest of these capabilities at your disposal. So of course we've got a JavaScript map control, and we've got a Windows 10 map control, which is pre-installed on every Windows 10 device. We've got REST APIs that work from any environment, and basically everything you need to build your geospatial applications. Great data visualization. We work in over 150 countries. Map rendering, geocoding, traffic services, reverse geocoding, all that good stuff. And of course, world-class developer support. I think this is really one of the things that sets us apart, is great documentation and great developer support with all of our mapping APIs. So here's a look at some of the capabilities of the JavaScript map control. I mentioned really good data visualizations, whether you're pulling data in from a SQL database or some other data source. Will help you draw heat maps, shaded area maps with just a couple lines of code. We can pull in data from industry standard files like KML files. And we've got great imagery as well, like aerial imagery, bird's eye imagery, 45-degree flyover imagery as well. All right, so that's our very quick recap. So let's look at some of the new capabilities that might be of interest to you. We added 4 new APIs over the last few months in time for build. Truck routing is one of the most popular. This one's really taken off for us since we launched it, because there's not a lot of other folks in the industry offering this one. And it's exactly what you think it is. Trucks can't go where cars can go at all times. So if you're a truck driver and you're driving a bucket truck, and you're using consumer-grade routing, you're going to end up in a situation like this where you're going over under a low bridge. On this API, we support things like all of the dimensions of a truck: height, width, loaded weight, number of axles. We'll also support things like hazardous material hauling, things of that nature. And here's a couple visual examples of low bridges. I like this one. You got the car route here going through this tunnel, but in this case I said, hey, I'm hauling flammable materials and I can't go through that tunnel, so I've got to take this detour and then head through. Distance matrix is another great API, very powerful for fleets. Think of this as many-to-many routing, where I've got many origins and many destinations. Maybe I've got 3 commercial bakeries and I need to deliver every day to 150 supermarkets, and I want to do load balancing among my bakeries. This is a great API for that. Single API call, you pass all of those locations in, you'll get back a matrix of times and distances. You can then operate on that matrix and do things like solve the traveling salesman problem and optimize where your fleet should be going. Huge cost savings in time and fuel for large fleets. This is one of my favorites, the isochrone API. Think of this as how far can I drive in a given amount of time? So here we're looking at Seattle, and we've got 4 concentric locations, and these were created at 10, 15, 20, and 25 minutes. So from the middle of Seattle, that's how far I can get. So besides drawing pretty pictures, what can you do with this? You can use it for spatial filtering of queries, where you say, well, I only want to see properties that are within a 20-minute commute of my work location. It's a really good example. And another one that we'll look at in a minute is geofence creation, because when we look at our fleet tracker, we'll show you how to create geofences to detect when someone enters or leaves an area. We'll show you how to draw an area on the map. But wouldn't it be cool if you said, hey, I've got a warehouse and I want to create a geofence that is 20 minutes around that warehouse so that whenever I've got a delivery coming in, I get a 20-minute alert, so I retool the receiving dock for that particular shipment. So that's another great use case. And the last, I have just a quick image showing you how to do spatial filtering. So here I've got a lot of random points representing properties, but then I generated my isochrone from my office here in Bellevue. I've got a 15-minute drive time, and now I can very quickly iterate through those points and know who's inside or outside of that drive time zone. Now we get to our final API that we released. This is our Snap to Road API. What this does is it takes a series of GPS coordinates, which, as you know, can be very inexact, and it will intelligently interpolate and snap them onto the road network and return for you the actual route. And with the actual route, you'll get a lot of interesting street attributes. Speed limit is a really important one. Posted speed limit. A lot of companies use this for post-drive analytics, where they've got historic GPS trails for their drivers, and now they want to know, like, okay, I know where the guy was going, but was he within the speed limit? So they can run their GPS trail through this API, get the speed limits back, and then know how the driver was doing. Okay, so with that, now we're going to move on to the heart of what we want to talk about, and that is the fleet tracker. Let's just see if Eric has moved. Check in on him. Yep, so he is cruising. It looks like we got him 26, just a couple minutes ago. All right. So we released this in January as an open source project, and in a moment I'll give you the link of where you can go and grab all of this code. There's really two major chunks of this. We've got the client application, which runs on iOS and Android, and of course all the sources provided. We provide it compiled, but you can grab it and edit it and tailor it, recompile it, and deploy it for your organization. The app is really lightweight. We built it to be battery friendly, and it really does just one thing. It shows you a map of where you are, but it's sending location back up to the service. And that's the other part of this project, is you get the Azure backend. So in that backend, when you deploy it, it'll stub out your storage. It gives you this nice dashboard, and it gives you all the services running in the background that we'll break down in a moment and take a look at. So what are some of the features that you get after you deploy this? Again, the most important one is it's open source. So these features are what we give you right out of the box, but we have dozens of developers have started using this and adding to the project already. So geofenced alerts is a great one. I'll show you how to interactively draw a geofence and then set an alert through email or text message whenever a driver enters or exits that area. Trip and location detection is very interesting. So we have a service that runs in the background, and it's always analyzing the points as they come in, and it'll try to figure out, where did this driver stop? And we'll call that a location. And what are all of the points that made up a contiguous trip? And that plays in with the reporting that's built in as well. You can get daily, weekly, monthly reports of activity of all the drivers in your deployment. And one of my favorites is the fact that we make it really easy to add your devices. I'm going to show you how, by shooting a QR code from the app on the phone, you're tying that phone to an instance, your private instance of the application. So you don't have to do a lot of manual configuration. It's just a QR code and you're up and running. So let's cut back over to our demo, and I'll show you a few more features. So now there's Eric cruising along. Now, if I zoom way out, there we go. So I've got three drivers in my fleet. These are my colleagues. This is Justin. You can see his timestamp is old. He turned on his phone for me when he was on vacation in New Orleans, and I'm off right now. But I was up here, I should say, in Seattle. Now I'm going to click on my trails. This is going to pull in all of what you'll see now is my trips. I left my phone on, my GPS, when I was flying a couple of weeks ago, so that's what that long one is. But I'm going to zoom back in here to Seattle. And over this time interval, there's a lot of data there, so I'm going to go back to a 1-month view. There we go. That simplifies things. Now you got a nice boring look at my life. This is where I work, and this is where I live. And you can see that over the month period, I didn't do a whole lot here. When I know I see my manager back there. I want him to think that I am always in the office. I'm either home or I'm at work, and that is it. So I'm going to show you now how to add your device. So if you've deployed your application, I'll show you how to deploy this in a moment, but assuming you've deployed it, now you've got the application on your handsets, I'm going to add someone. So I'm going to go in here and look at my devices. I'm going to hit the add button. And if I was thinking ahead, what I would have had one of you do is install the application while you're sitting here. Someone could have shot that QR code and then gone running outside to prove that it was everything was hooked up and working in real time. So that's how simple it is to add a device into the system. Or you could go into your phone settings and you can get these values and add them manually, but it's a lot nicer if you can just shoot the QR code. So how to deploy this? That's the next thing we're going to look at. Like I said, we've made it pretty easy. So all of our code is up on GitHub, and you can take that project, you can download it, compile it, and deploy it yourself. But what I really love is we've created a one-click deployment portal, and I'm going to show you that right now. And this basically lets you sign in with your Azure account, choose your deployment, and hit publish, and you'll be up and running in no time. So here's our GitHub where you get your source and documentation. And like I said, you can also grab the compiled applications out of here as well if you don't want to build the iOS or Android application. And then down here is the link for our deployment portal, which I've got open in another window. And this is it. So if I want to deploy now, I come in here. I'm going to give it a name. I choose my Azure subscription. Oh, wait, not a valid name. I think it's because I have a space in there. There, that's a valid name. There we go. All right, so I choose my Azure subscription. Choose the region I want to deploy to. I have to give it a Bing Maps subscription key. So many of you probably have a Bing Maps key already, but if not, it's free to get one, and you just come over to bingmapsportal.com, and that's where you sign in with your Microsoft account, grab a developer key. There's no charge to do so. You get 125,000 transactions per year at no charge, and you'll plug that key in back here. Then you'll grab an application ID, and you go to the Microsoft application portal to do that, and you can see I've previously created one, Fleet Tracker Test 2. I grab my ID and my secret, and I'm going to paste those back in at the deployment portal. Whoops. And then finally, this last value is optional, and this is if you're going to take advantage of the alerts. Now, the code as we ship it uses an email gateway called SendGrid, so if you happen to have a SendGrid account, you can pop it in there. But like I said, that's optional. You don't have to use SendGrid. You can go into the code, and maybe you prefer to use your own mail gateway or send a text message instead of an email, or do whatever you want. But all the hooks are in the code to do that. And that's it. Once I've done all of that, I hit the deploy button, which I'm not going to do right now. You'll get a little wait cursor. 10 minutes later, you are deployed, and you're live with your basically everything that I just showed you. And I think that was the last official slide. I have a great how do I get started. And really, the only URL that you have to remember is this one. Everything else is linked off of it. So this is our developer portal, bingmapsportal.com. There you'll find our interactive SDK, our documentation on MSDN, all of our marketing materials, all that good stuff. So that was pretty good. I blew through that about 5 minutes faster than I thought I would. So I can actually take some questions right now. We've got brochures up here. We also have a session across the street in the Sheridan at 4 o'clock today. And in that session, if you want to join us over there, we'll look at this a little bit, but we're mostly going to focus on the rest of the APIs that we just kind of blew through at the beginning. So it'll be more of a broad mapping overview. We're going to look at some customer applications. And we'll look at some interesting and unique things that customers are doing, and then we'll show you the code and how to do that with our mapping APIs. All right, any questions? Yeah. I'll repeat the question.
Also on the app side that you've built, does it work in background?
The mobile app? Yeah, so the question is, does the mobile app that we built run in the background? So yes, it does. It doesn't have to be up in the foreground. As a matter of fact, when I've got it installed and running, I really never look at it. The only UI option in it is for the person who has the phone to toggle their location on or off. But other than that, it shows you a map with a dot of where you are, and that's it. So it can totally be running in the background. And that's definitely true for Android, and I believe that's true for iOS. I'm getting a nod from our dev lead in the back. So yes, it's true for both. Any other questions? One thing I'll point out, we usually tell folks, it's really built for small to mid-sized fleets. But there's really no reason that this can't scale up to thousands and thousands of people. We say small to mid-size because most people with fleets of thousands have more specialized needs, and they're probably already using an off-the-shelf system already. So that's the only reason that we say small to mid-size. Other than that, there's really no limit to the scalability and how many people you could have in there. So, and the reason I wanted to point that out is many of our customers that have started taking a look at this, it might be someone like a regional delivery company where they've got 20 trucks in an area. This is great for them to get started. But we've been talking to a lot of organizations that have mobile workforces that might not be in trucking or fleet, but they're mobile sales force, and they might have hundreds or 1,000 people, and based on cell phone location, they want to be able to see where people are and coordinate meetings. It's great for that as well. So don't necessarily think pure trucking applications, but any kind of mobile workforce where you need to see where your people are in real time, it's really appropriate for that. Any other questions? I think we got, I don't know, what's the time check? What do you got? 16? Yeah, we got 3 minutes to go. So I'll let you all go early if there's no more questions, but oh, so the question is, we give you 125,000 transactions. What is a transaction? So any API call that you make against the Bing Maps APIs counts as a transaction. Now, we're pretty liberal, though, in when you load our map control, we call that one transaction. Once that map control loads, you can do an awful lot within that session. So the session is really one transaction. But if you're using our REST APIs, every time you make a call for, say, driving directions or address lookup, that would also be one transaction. But if you're doing it within the context of our map control, that's all included in the loading of the map control. So. Oh, a heat map. Yeah, definitely. So back at the beginning, and I'll slide my slides way up to the front here. And it's a great question to tie back to what we talked about early on. Sitting underneath all of this is the Bing Maps for Enterprise platform. So we've been working on this for 2 decades. We have a boatload of capabilities, and one of them is heat maps. So we've made it really easy, and you can stop by our booth, and I'll show you some demos just on heat maps. But it's really easy to feed data in, and one line of code, and you've got a heat map coming out. So yeah, and there is one thing I didn't show in the application because I was moving quickly, but I'll pop back and show you the app. We've got quite a bit of reporting built in. We don't have a heat map, but I can do things like trip duration, and there's only a few people in my sample deployment here, so I only have a couple of bars. But this is all, since all of the data is being stored back in your private Azure instance, the reporting that we give you out of the box is hooked up to that. Any other questions?
The API got 125,000
Mm-hmm.
requests. When you go to production, installation, is that still the same? Or
Yeah, it's 125,000 for free. So the question was, when you go to production, when you're coming out of a preview, does your allocation of transactions still? Yes, you can take those with you and go to production. It's when you exceed the 125,000 that will start to charge you for that. And pricing starts at about 50 cents per thousand. If you're a high volume customer, the price per thousand ramps down very quickly, but that would be the starting price. Oh, route optimization. You missed the beginning then. That's all right. Actually, and it's a great question because I only touched on it ever so quickly. So we talked about our distance matrix API, which can help with route optimization, but we are actually in the next 2 months, 2 to 3 months, I wonder if I should be announcing this at Build because it's not out yet, but I'll say it because it's so close to coming out. We are releasing route optimization. And what that basically means is when you call our routing API today, you pass in a bunch of waypoints and we will return the directions in the order that you pass them in. But now there will be an optimized flag. So you could say, okay, I need to go from A to B to C to D, or those are the stops I need to make, reorder them based on optimal driving. We'll consider traffic when we do that as well. So that is coming soon. But we did earlier look at our distance matrix API, which would help you do that today, but you got to write a lot more code. We're going to roll all of that up into our API. Any other questions? Yeah. Oh yeah, Virtual Earth? Yeah.
And basically, so in Google, you can start with Earth and then sort of navigate into map.
Yep.
You guys have this.
Yeah, we do. We have something similar. The question was, do we have something similar to Google Earth where you can zoom out and see the whole Earth? We do, and it's much like Google Earth. It is a heavier weight application, so it runs on Windows. And if you have a Windows 10 machine, it's pre-installed. So just look for the Maps app, and we do 3D mapping. And as a matter of fact, since we're sitting in front of a computer, I'll just pop it up. And you can zoom out and see the whole Earth. And I think I'm on a slow connection. These buildings should start to, they're all colored and shaded. They're not just white silhouettes. But yeah, so we've got that too. It's a separate API, but it's very well documented. It's similar to our JavaScript API, but it's a little bit different, and the capabilities are a little bit different as well. But that's another option for developers. And you'll get to that if you want to learn about that. It's at the same place. The Big Maps portal is the place to go for that. Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks, everybody. So we got another session at 4 o'clock across the street if you want to pop over for that. And our booth is all the way down across from Theater 2 if you have any questions and you want to stop by and get a more hands-on look. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.